Hi, I'm Chef Costa Magoulas, and tonight we're cooking beef. So please stay tuned for an exciting episode of Local Flavor. Hello, I'm Chef Costa Magoulas, and welcome to Local Flavor. For our menu this episode, I've created some special dishes for you featuring beef, one of my favorites. Joining me is Kim Conaway from Conaway Cattle. Kim has been buying, selling, trading beef since he was very young. Oh, welcome to this show. We are very pleased to have you here with us today, Kim. I really mean that. Because it's, when you're dealing with a product like this, you really want to go to the person that knows about it. You really do.
I know
and plus, I like your hat.
I like
and I got one too.
I wouldn't come here without one. It's good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
What got you started in this?
I wasn't raised in the cattle business. I worked for a few people at a young age that were in it, and I had an interest in it and decided to pursue it. And the odds were that I probably wouldn't make it, but here I am years later, and I'm still enjoying it.
Well, here on Local Flavor, we will feature an ingredient you can find in Central Florida. We will show you how it ends up on your supermarket and create some delicious dishes. So grab a piece of paper, a pencil, and your DVD remote, because the ingredient list will be popping up on your screen throughout the show. All recipes will also be on our Facebook page, Local Flavor. This is a call-in show, remember, so please call in with any questions you have about the recipes or the cattle industry. Our phone numbers are now open at 1-800-901-9238, so give us a call. Okay, let's get started. First, I'll be showing how to make a beautiful steak. And as we prepare this, Kim, can you kind of tell us a little bit about what you did in the industry? Before I get started, I want to cut this steak off and give you an idea here. Is that about the right size, you think?
I'd say so. That's a beauty.
That's that black Angus beef.
It's one of the top
Boy,
dishes.
isn't that beautiful?
Right there. Oh, it's beautiful. A lot of marbling in there, juiciness, flavor. Anybody'd like to eat that one.
You know what? What I'm going to do, go ahead and tell us about black Angus beef.
I'll tell you a little bit about the industry within Florida. East of the Mississippi, Florida probably had the first cattle, came in the 1600s somewhere, and there's still about a million cattle in the state of Florida.
That many?
And it's a viable industry in each of the counties. And we're primarily a calf raising state. We have a lot of grass, good seasonal growing for our grass, and we can produce these calves that you're seeing on your screen. And they're raised on their mothers about 4 to 6 months, and then they're shipped west to go on grass, and eventually they'll end up in a feedlot such as this.
They're beautiful cows, they really are.
Yes, sir.
Cows are beautiful, but they really are nice-looking cows.
They're fed concentrated grain until they weigh about 1,250 pounds, and they're harvested, brought back, packaged into your local supermarket or wherever you buy your beef.
Well, let me ask you something. About how many cows are actually harvested a day, a month? I mean, people don't realize a lot.
Yeah, the United States, we harvest about 130 to 140,000 cattle a day.
Wow.
Yeah, for our consumption.
Boy, look at that butcher shop. I love that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's how you get all your cuts that you see in your packages and wherever you shop.
I remember when I was first starting out in the industry, I was learning how to cut, and they wouldn't let me cut steaks or anything. I had to cut all the meat off the bone for the hamburger.
Yeah, that's a
Boy,
tough
look
job.
How beautiful that beef looks.
Oh, that's pretty.
That
happened to be one of our cattle. That was an Angus. It was probably about 28 or 30 months of age, and that's the.
Is that how long it takes to raise them?
Yes, sir. Everything is harvested between 28 and 30 months of age, typically. If you're feeding them like this steak right here we're looking at.
Now, how big is the cattle industry? I've always heard that it was really big in Florida. People don't realize that.
Yeah, there's kind of a hidden industry between the interstates, if you will. It's you don't see a lot of it going down I-95 or 75, but There are a lot of cattle. It's a viable industry within each county in the state of Florida, actually.
Yeah, I remember back when I was growing up, people were talking about cattle was like the second biggest industry in the state.
Oh, right.
And you'd say cattle in Florida,
Yeah.
think about orange
Yeah.
trees and
Yeah.
everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting this steak here so we can keep talking. And don't forget, you folks, we got phone calls that we'll be happy to take at 1-800-901-9238. Now, look at this steak. I'm telling you what, I could almost eat it
I'll
sushi
eat
style.
that raw. Yes, sir.
Now, what I'm going to do with this steak, maybe you might not see it done like this sometimes, but I'm going to take mustard and put on this steak. And I remember reading a cookbook years ago about Dwight D. Eisenhower. And he was from out west. He was a cattle person. And what he did, he put mustard on his steaks. I said, well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But when, it's got a lot of herbs and spices in it, you wouldn't think. And then what I like to do, I'm going to turn my stove on over here. So I'm going to put a little bit of, this is olive oil and canola kind of blend.
Excellent.
And then my secret ingredient, which is no secret, butter. Can't mess with that. Those people who have a little cholesterol, don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
Just don't eat any fat tomorrow. We got to get this thing good and hot. And it's getting hot pretty quick.
I'm going to try this mustard recipe. That looks
You like that, huh?
I do. I like how it looks before you're cooking it.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm just using salt, pepper, and a little garlic. I'm going to really put it on there.
Great.
And the salt that I use is smoked salt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can actually take that thing, you can smell that smoke in there.
Yes, you can.
Isn't that something?
That's nice.
And it's easy to do. You can put it on your grill, take aluminum foil, put salt in it, and just put it on your grill when you're cooking. It gets all that smoke on.
I'll try that.
So that's pretty much what I do like that. And when you see now that butter in there is starting to get a little brown.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're cooking, right?
Now we're cooking.
Tell me if I'm doing this right.
No, I think you're good. I'm not going to enter
We got a
chef
phone
challenge.
call from Matt from Sanford. Okay, Matt, what's going on? No, you can't have our steak.
That Florida has the biggest cattle ranch in America. Is that true?
Florida has the biggest cattle ranch in...
Yes, it is. That Mormon Ranch
oh, that's right, down in West Palm Beach.
Well, it extends basically in several counties within the state of Florida, but about 330 or 350,000 acres and probably about 35 or 40,000 cows. So yes, it is number one. In fact, Florida boasts, I believe, 3 or 4 of the top 10 in the nation are here in Florida.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You think of
People don't
Texas
think
all
of
the
that.
time.
Yeah, Texas, Colorado, California, but we rival them.
Now,
Pound
you
for
raise
pound, so to
Black
speak.
Angus, right?
We use Angus bulls on our commercial cows, mixed breed cows, and Angus bulls.
Well, is that the most popular? Or?
It is right now. The Angus is a very popular breed with the buyers and the consumers, and that's looking great.
That's
So what a cattleman has to strive to do is produce what the consumer wants, not what he wants.
Yeah.
That's your business. So like you said earlier, this certified Angus beef is hot right now, so the producers, the ranchers, are going to use the genetics from the Angus breed if possible.
It really, I was studying, because being in the food business, we looked at different beef, and we found that Black Angus was tender.
Oh, yeah.
Had more flavor to it.
Yes,
it's fantastic beef.
great.
It really is.
It's great.
And I'm going to do the old finger test on this steak, so don't get mad at me. I'm going to touch it, see if it's rare. Now, that's the big finger test. We tease about that all the time. If you put your fingers together like this and touch right here, that's well done. You touch here, that's medium. And you touch here, that's rare.
Oh, okay.
That's a chef trick.
All right. Learn something new every day.
So we're going to take this steak because we don't want to overcook it.
Man, that's great.
Doesn't that look killer?
I mean, beautiful.
We're going to let that rest a minute. And we're going to get started here. We're going to do a hamburger as well, not just a steak. So we did the steak first. We're going to let the steak rest.
Yes.
And so when you know how it is, when you cut a steak, all the juice is going to come out of it. So we're going to let it sit and rest a little bit. That way it'll taste a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to get this thing ready for a hamburger test here. So let me show you the difference in the hamburger. Kim, you know what I'm talking about. When you get fresh ground hamburger, And you buy it sometimes from the store that they've ground it up and they put, they have different 20% fat or more. It's got a little bit more of a gray look to it. But this is fresh ground beef. I just ground that this afternoon.
That's really good.
And look at that color. It's And by the way, this is Black Angus too.
I believe that. It's
So
beautiful.
I'm going to take this right here. And any of y'all have eaten hamburger raw, don't. Don't forget, whoa, it's starting to get hot quick. Let me put that over here. Thank you very much. Our crew saved me. Don't forget our number is 1-800-901-9238. Oh, we got another phone call. Mark? Hello, Mark.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing? You hungry?
I'm doing well. My question is, are there any like Wagyu beef in the state? And have your cattle ever won like championship cook-offs or anything?
What was the question?
Well, he wants to know, is there any Wagyu, the Asian type
Oh, yeah.
cows in Florida? And have your beef ever won any competitions?
There are that type of cattle in Florida. Very few, but there are some. I have not had experience with them. I've seen them. I've never raised any. And we basically, as far as our operation goes, we're in a commercial situation where we produce calves for the marketplace. We're not in the showing business or anything like that. But so the answer to that question is no, we're not in the cattle showing business, we're in the cattle raising business. But however, at the terminal end, our cattle do produce steaks like this. And this hamburger that we're preparing this comes from
hamburger? Looks
solid
good.
genetic cattle at the grass level produce this at the terminal end.
I'm going to do the same thing with a hamburger I did with a steak.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and season it real good on
like
both
that.
sides. One thing people don't understand about hamburger, you do have to put some salt on that puppy, okay, because to bring that flavor up.
Oh, okay.
And I know a lot of people are on salt-free diets and have to watch the salt they eat, but you know what? It's the salt that you use, that refined salt, it really is not good for you. You ought to be using sea salt or something like kosher salt. It's better salt.
Okay.
It
I like
really
kosher
works out
salt. I
real
bought
good.
some of that the other day.
Now we got that little hamburger cooking there. That's going to be a puppy there.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
And so we'll keep on going. We're still waiting for your calls at 1-800-901. Oh, we got another line already, boy. Port
Great.
Orange.
Port Orange.
Hello, caller.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Chef. I'm wondering, does this meat is just wholesale, or do you sell to the public as well?
What about that, Kim?
We do feed steers, Angus genetic-based steers with concentrated feed, and we do sell to the public. We don't sell individual cuts of meat, but we do sell the animal if you were interested in getting a nice quality grain-fed Angus.
So they could come see you?
Yes,
and actually,
they could come see me if they
how
want.
does that work now? Can they buy the whole cow?
They could buy the whole animal.
And
yes.
do you process it for them
No,
and
well,
everything?
there's processing plants within Volusia County that'll handle that for you.
I remember that used to be a big thing. People could go buy half a cow.
Oh, yeah.
And do that kind
Sure.
of, and they'll wrap it, and
Right.
you can freeze it, right?
Right. They typically will let this beef hang for about 14 to maybe 18 days before it's processed.
Process, right.
And that adds to the tenderness and flavor of the beef.
What they do when they process a cow, they have to bring the temperature down slowly, and that's
Right.
why they have to wait, and then you can refrigerate it, right?
It's not frozen right away. It's cool. It's
yeah.
in a cooler about 37 degrees, and it's brought into the freezer eventually.
Now, a lot of people want to know how long you can freeze beef, and I've got a pretty good idea, but what do you suggest?
Well, we don't have, if it's vacuum sealed like this ground beef is here, a year's no problem at all with beef.
That's amazing, isn't
Unlike pork, that's a different situation, but beef has a long shelf life.
It really does. You've got to make sure that, really that's a good investment, isn't it?
Oh,
Get
sure.
one of these Cryovac sealers for food.
Sealer's good. That's the ticket right there.
It really is
Makes
nice.
all the
But you can buy the freezer bags, which I had one here tonight. This is a freezer bag here. You could actually freeze food in this.
Right.
And it's a cheap way to do it. You don't have to wrap it and freezer wrap, but I used to do that anyway just to play it safe.
Sure, we do too. Sure.
I tell you, I had people ask me before about ground beef.